Bitcoin is currently pumping to the upside and I know exactly what is going on. I have taken measures here with my trade and I will show you exactly what I'm doing right now. If you think that's interesting, then stick around here and let's go, guys. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Tuesday today. So I have a really nice background here sitting on the porch of a door because the internet is really bad if I go down into the room. So I'm sitting here right now. The DXY is keep falling, as you can see here, further and further away from the 100 point mark. And this will continue, especially with economical data coming out tomorrow in the US. As you can see here, on Wednesday we have GDP coming out, we have PCE index coming out, PCE year over year, core PCE index, core PCE year over year. This will have usually a massive impact on the markets once this data is released, which will be tomorrow. What time will that be for me? I think kind of around an hour or two earlier than I actually record this video right now. So pay attention to that. Even though Bitcoin is pumping right now, that could tomorrow really quickly change depending on what this data is actually showing us. So, but now let's jump directly into the reason why Bitcoin is pumping. One of the reasons is that we are minting here more and more Tether. Here $1 billion was minted earlier, and I think when I saw correctly, it was actually $5-6 billion that at the Tether treasury was minted. So, and that money has to go somewhere, and we see right now where the money is actually going, and it is going in Bitcoin, into Bitcoin here, pumping the price to the upside. Currently here on the weekly chart, we are at $94,827. The stochastic is flying to the upside. RSI is entering here bullish territory, which is also a sign that we are getting continuation here. But it remains a massive resistance here around $99,000 to $98,100 that we need to break in order to reclaim the $100,000 mark. This might be happening here, in my opinion, by next week or the week after that, when we actually gonna get the rate cut. I think it's, don't name me on the date. It might be in 2 weeks from now. I have to actually look it up, but then I definitely expect that the rate cut will get us over the $100,000 mark here once again. Here on Binance, Bitcoin is up $94,427 and keeps moving to the upside on a 12-hourly chart. The the EMA ribbon is also here continuing to rise here to the upside. At some point, price will come down as usual and touch at least the upper end of it, which would be currently at $92,300. I don't believe that that will be the moment here in the next couple hours where we come down and touch that. I think that we're going to expand further to the upside and price will be maybe even close to $100,000 and then come back down to like 95, 96. Touch here the EMA ribbon, retest it, and continues then to go here to the upside. So for now, the imminent target that I'm eyeing with is around $97,000. There is the 0.382 level and also a lot of confluence on the VPVR that we are running into here in terms of resistance. As you can see here, the stochastic is going down while price is going up, and this is usually a huge sign that the stochastic RSI will turn around, and we're gonna get here a massive continuation move in the next 2 days, unless the US data tomorrow would be really bad for the markets. The RSI is not overbought yet, but we are getting there, at least on a 12-hourly chart. So when we're going into the MDX ALGO scalp gradients, also here you can clearly see that price is heating up based on the colorization of the candles. Our trade was here basically a sniper entry that I gave you guys yesterday. We tapped the entry, got not even close to the stop loss, and since then we are flying. So if you caught this trade, you are up currently 2.65% on the trade. Of course, with like 20x leverage, for example, you would be up over 50% on that single trade here right now. The reactor indicator also showing here some contraction with a turnaround to the upside, which is another sign for continuation and a bigger swing in the price into higher levels. And as you can see here, I put my money where my mouth is here on ZOOMEX. The trade that I just opened yesterday in a slight loss is now bearing fruits, over $1,000 here in profit, or roughly 18%. I'll of course let this trade play out here all the way up to $100,000, not doing anything with that just right now. And if you want to trade on ZOOMEX, guys, don't forget, you can still win until tomorrow. Tomorrow it's expiring, a Formula One trip, just by simply spinning here on the lucky draw, a trip to Monaco or to Miami, all expenses paid, hotel, paddock, business class flight, everything paid, worth at least $30,000 to $50,000 that trip. And I can highly recommend you to do that. You meet crazy people there. So I did it many times. And what do you have to lose? You only need to sign up with the link in the pinned comment below and the description. And in the worst case, you only win here $5, So, but you definitely win something when you spin the wheel. So take advantage of that. Maybe you get lucky enough, win a Bitcoin, one Ethereum, $500, $1,000. Who knows what you're gonna win? So, but you have not really anything to lose by spinning the wheel. So take advantage of that, because I have to refresh that, and you're gonna see that that's now less than a day. So you see a less than a day when this is actually going to expire. Again, there is a link in the pinned comment and in the description below to take advantage of that, and also 50% cash back on your initial deposit. So if you deposit $100, you get $50 on top of that. Now, when we look at the liquidation levels here, you see another reason why I'm saying that we're going higher first, because the high leverage liquidity on the short side is getting tapped here currently, and is only stopping at around $96,300, $400. And once we're reaching that, I expect a small short squeeze all the way up to $97,000, $98,000. And from there, we create a deviation, come lower, touch most likely the 50 moving average here, currently at around $95,000, and then bounce and move in direction of $100,000. There is a small chance that we come down here to like $92,600, $91,600, but there is not a lot of long liquidity sitting currently. We need to expand this a little bit. So here that would make more sense when we adjust that to $93,600 to $92,000. That looks for me way more realistic, that we could end up just wicking down here and then come straight back up and continue with the price in direction of $100,000. On the liquidation heat map on the weekly chart here, again, a lot of confluence around the $96,000 level, that we're going to tap that to take out the liquidity. And then, like I said, once we're tapping slightly above that, we're going to get a short squeeze to $97,500 to $98,000 roughly. When we're going into the total free market cap here, again, we're attempting to break the $835 billion mark. Once we are cracking that, it is basically a straight elevator to the upside to over $900 billion. You see right now small glimpses in the altcoin market already, with altcoins moving with that to the upside. So let's see if we can break this today. We tried now for the last 6 days to break through this level. At some point, this level is getting, giving in. You should always remember that the more we hammer on a specific level, the weaker it gets, and at some point it just rips here through it. The Bitcoin dominance has not really changed between yesterday and today. Of course, we have here a small pullback today in the dominance, but nothing really what I would like to see. And I'm gonna update my charts if I can tomorrow, or worst case in the next 3 days, because then I will be finally in a proper place where I can work on the charts. I'm going to show you where I believe that the dominance is going before properly turning around. If you want to trade altcoins, guys, I still trade all my altcoins on Bybit. You also get there $30,000 worth of bonuses just for signing up. And also don't forget, if you sign up, you can also get a Bybit card. I pay every single day everything with my Bybit card. This room that I'm in currently is paid with the Bybit card. My trips are paid with the Bybit card, flights, everything. And I get 10% cash back on everything that I pay with the card. So example, if I would buy this watch now with the Bybit card, I would get immediately 10% back. So I get a 10% discount for nothing, which is amazing. So you should definitely take advantage of that with the link in the pinned comment below and the description. Plus that you get still a free Airdrop position, which you can also find there. So now when we go into Ethereum, our Ethereum trade also nicely playing out. We are at a critical VPVR level of $1,820. Once we are breaking through that, expect here also a nice push to the upside. The 12-hourly chart here on the stochastic RSI potentially also turning around. Also to mention is that it looks like if we finally broke this multi-month downward sloping trend line, which should lead to a massive pump here in the next coming days and weeks to at least $2,600, $700 for one Ethereum. Then Solana is still moving here in that falling broadening wedge, but also here when you look at the indicators, everything is setting up for a move to the upside. We got also wicked into that trade yesterday down here and are currently up 3.6%. Again, 10x leverage on that. You're up 36% on that Solana trade. I also here will not make any changes to the trade setup. We just let this play out. Just watch it a little bit when we're coming here to this downward sloping trend line. What's going to happen there if we get a rejection or actually break through this? and rip to the upside in direction of $160. The next one is SUI. So that's one of the new trades that I want to give you guys. Also here, the 4-hourly chart is nicely setting up. We tested here in the last 72 hours twice the golden ratio and got rejected from there and went all the way down to the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci extension levels. So now we are trying to break that falling wedge pattern again, that you can see here, where the indicators have completely bottomed out, which is an indication that we are now setting up for the proper breakout. So once we're breaking above that downward sloping trend of that falling wedge pattern, I will personally enter a trade here, not wait for a break of the golden ratio, because it could just straight go to the upside, and the target would be here around $4.45. SUI is definitely one of the stronger performers here over the last couple days, actually the last week, insanely performer, and I would get ready here for another at least 26% move to the upside. Coti also here, falling wedge pattern currently forming, sitting at a huge buy order block that's currently supporting us here again on the 4-hourly chart, completely bottomed out. RSI turns around, so this might be also finally start to move here to the upside, to the downward sloping trend line that is currently giving us resistance. Once we're breaking that resistance, I see us flying to like 9 to 10 cents here really quickly once again for Coti, and at that time definitely flying past these levels. The next one is Render. Render finally looks like to be ready to break out here. Unfortunately, I had to close partially off my trade on Render to pay for some stuff, but I have the majority of positions still running. So here, a break out of that falling wedge will send us straight $4.65. Once we're reaching that level, this time, again, I believe also here that we are finally breaking it, because here it was resistance, here it was resistance, here and also there it was resistance. Everything is in alignment for a nice break to the upside. Once we're getting this break, we should go straight to like $4.90, $5 for Render. So if you are not currently in a trade, wait for the break here of this downward sloping trend line, and that might be the perfect entry for you to get in. If you want to play it safe and need a dollar amount, then it would be $4.54 with at least a 30-minute candle close where I would enter this trade. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. I hope to see you with more cash tomorrow.